Have you ever seen a speech where the speaker is just standing there talking, kind of like a book reading itself to the audience? See, the difference between just a book and a person is human connection. And we get that human connection through our body power. In this session, we're going to look at using your body and how you can improve using your body. Okay? Well, and unlike some of the other sessions in this course, you will have assignments to go out and try and practice some of these ideas so you can improve on them. So let's jump on into it, because we really want to build that power to connect with your audience. So put in your email so I can send you what you have input. And right now we're looking at deliver your passion. We're looking at your body. And as usual, if you don't want someone to read your name, put in an alias, because people will see your name. Now, moving on down. How can you improve your body power in your presentation? In the late 60s and early 70s, Professor Albert Mehrabian at the University of California, Los Angeles, did a series of tests and research studies on communication. And he found that 55% of our communicated liking, how we communicate liking, which leads to trust, which leads to all of those other things, and believability, he found that 55% of that was what we see. 38% was the voice we hear. And 7% of that communicated liking is the words we use. So that's why it's so important for us to, or for you to, know your body and practice and rehearse so you can connect with your audience with your body. And there's a couple things. One is when you know your body and how you're moving around, you can show confidence even if you're not feeling it. And you can, again, connect and demonstrate what you mean to your audience. So let's get into it. Here are your exercises for the next 2 days. First, I want you to practice big open gestures. I mean, like big. Get those arms all the way stretched out. You know, palm way up, way down. But practice this with your friends, with your neighbors, with your colleagues, with your family. Whoever you're talking to, practice using those big gestures. And also, practice showing steps or processes. First you do this. Second you do, okay. And this is for two reasons. One, it will help you be less nervous during your speech because it's something that you know. Two, you will actually it will help you remember what you're going to say, because your body has muscle memory, and that will help you during your presentation. Also, you want to move around when you talk. We have this idea that we're supposed to stand behind a lectern when we speak, and most teachers do, partly because our whole setup in the classroom is trapped behind that PowerPoint, and it's really difficult to get out. So that's why we want you to get out from behind there, because the best communicator and the best teacher isn't back behind that lectern. Then we want you to dress up about one level up. Okay, so if everyone's dressed like this, you want to have that jacket and nice shirt, dress shirt. You don't want to, if everyone's dressed like this, you don't want to be in a tuxedo. Okay, but if everybody's in a swimsuit, you don't want the jacket either, something like this. I went to that convention. And next one, so we want to show strong posture. Both, head up, neck back, both upper body and lower body. Meaning you don't want to be leaning on one hip or kind of down over to the side. It doesn't show confidence, and it shows disinterest, actually. And one last thing, and this one was difficult for me, kill me, for first 20 years of my public speaking practice and training and all those workshops that I used to go to when I was a beginner. I would lean back and forth, okay? And I would do what we call waddling. So you want to stand still, stand tall, and not go back and forth. So, what body mistakes do we want to avoid? We want to avoid any unrehearsed hand movement. That means rehearse with your hands. Know what you're going to do. 1, 2, 3. You can tell I've done that several thousand times. And another one is you don't want to cross your arms. The reason for this is because it seems closed, seems distant from your audience. Now, I used to lead seminars for 7-8 hours at a time, and so there were times when I would go like this, but it was only to rest my arms. And I tried to do that only during break or when the audience members were in group exercises. Next is you want to avoid any unrehearsed movement. That means like lifting one leg, leaning side to side, leaning front to back, moving your hands around in any way that isn't rehearsed and doesn't help communicate your message. And then last, we have poor posture. We talked about standing strong and strong posture. Well, that poor posture. When have you seen a president or a world leader with really bad, poor posture? Now, what you want to do over the next 2 days is practice these things. Practice, talk to your friends whenever you're talking with your friends, whenever you're talking with colleagues, your boss. But practice all of these exercises as often as possible and then report back. You will be shocked at how much you start to notice about how you communicate, even on a daily basis, never mind in front of an audience. So if you can build these skills on a daily basis, you'll be much stronger in front of that audience. Let me conclude this session. And in this session, we have talked about body. We've talked about having big gestures and practicing any gestures and steps and moving around to talk to different people, moving around the audience or the platform. We've talked about dressing up for success, having that posture, holding still, and avoiding those mistakes. This is important because what the audience sees is the majority of the message and liking that they will get communicated. So make sure you use your body power. You'll connect with your audience.